Welcome to Japan, a shopper's paradise, and I mean it. I have a lot to say about Japan, right? But that's for another video. I'll be making a series of videos about Japan, but this one is about tax-free scheme. We saved around 2000 USD on different things that we have always wanted to have, but we bought them in Japan. I'd say go to Japan for beautiful scenery, a lot of beautiful temples, so much to do, so much to eat, and so much to buy. It is the shopper's paradise. You see signs everywhere that says, hey, we do tax-free. They show it to you and they do it for you and they take you through in their broken English. All respect to Japanese people. I love you. I love your country. But a bit of English would be really useful. So what I'm doing in this video, I'm going to be taking you through our experience about tax-free in Japan, what it is, how it works, and what you need to do as a tourist. Hi, my name is Amir and we just returned from Japan. Tax-free, honestly, is really confusing if you don't know what you're doing, and there's not a lot of English speakers down in Japan that tell you what you need to do and how you need to do it. This video is my frustration of not finding a good pack of information that takes me from A to Z in Japan without a stress and with heaps of money saved. Let's talk about eligibility. So who can actually benefit from the tax-free scheme in Japan? First and foremost, you have to be a foreign visitor that has stayed in Japan for less than 6 months. So if you're a foreign visitor and you've stayed over 6 months, you do not qualify for this. Or if you are on a work visa or on a student visa, whatsoever, you do not qualify for tax-free scheme in Japan. You may ask, a foreign visitor can be on business or on tourism. Does it matter? It does not matter. If you're on tourism or business visiting Japan, it does not matter. You can use the tax-free scheme. Just as a summary, you have to be on a visitor visa. It can be work or tourism and less than 6 months in Japan. You qualify for a tax-free scheme. So what can you buy actually on a tax-free scheme? Can you buy clothing? Can you buy jewelry? Can you buy cosmetics? Well, there are two main categories. Do you really care? No, you don't really care, but this is for you to know. There are two main categories: general items and consumables. The only difference between them is how they package and give it to you. Look at those balloons. For your general items like clothing, bags, jewelry, gadgets, and whatsoever, the only thing that you need to do is to have bought your items in single store on the same day above 5,000 yen. Then you qualify. So if you go to Prada in Tokyo and you spend more than 5,000 yen, in that store on the same day, you qualify for a tax-free scheme. That's your general goods on the side. Let's move to consumables. Consumables are things like food, cosmetics, and medicine, things that you really consume. And I'm not quite sure how those categories have been defined, but your consumables have to be between 5,000 yen to 500,000 yen in a single store on the same day. Those items will qualify for tax-free, and there is a big catch: you cannot open them while you are in Japan. So if you go to Cartier like I did and buy some perfume, you cannot use it until you have left Japan. So as an example, we went to the Cartier store in Osaka and I really loved this perfume from Cartier. That's the Oud and Santal, if you can see it on my screen. And I really wanted it. And I wanted to get it and put it on me in Japan. No, you can't. They put it in a sealed box. It's totally sealed. And I tried opening it before the video. It's a very strong seal, and you can't really open it before you leave Japan. So I'm back in Australia. I can open it, but the regulation is that you are not allowed to open consumables inside Japan if you have bought them tax-free. So then you may ask, what happens if I buy something that is consumable and I use it in Japan? At the airport, if you get caught, you have to pay that tax and be able to go out of the country because you have not followed suit. So let me try and open this. I've been really waiting for this. That is very strong. Okay. So you've got a bag of Cartier. This is not a paid promotion, and I've got my perfume. Now, how does it work? Well, you will see tax-free icons everywhere if they offer tax-free. So if you go to a shopping mall, which I think most of them really do, from what we saw, a lot of places offer tax-free. When you walk in there, there are signs that says tax-free Japan. That's a good sign. Or if you don't see that sign, you might ask the vendor or the staff, do you offer tax free? Because it's a very clear question. Everybody knows about it. If they don't have it, they will say, no, 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 we don't do it. But here is the important part. It's not only the sign that saves your life. You have to have your passport on you. So if you go to a store, you're ready to buy, you have complied with all the conditions, you have been there on a foreign visitor visa, you've got a tax-free shop, you have identified that beautiful gadget that you have wanted to buy, you don't have your passport on you, you can't buy that tax free. If you don't have your passport on you, you can't claim tax free on your purchases. So I would recommend, and this is what we did, we had our passports all the time on us, moving around and making sure if we loved something, we've got our passport on us. So forget about the photo of your passport and such and such. You need the actual physical passport on you. And now you've got your passport, you've got the money. What do you do? Well, there are two things that normally happen. Either the same store will do the paperwork for you, they fill in the paperwork, and then they submit that into their system to the Japanese government, I assume. I don't know, maybe they do that. And then they give you a receipt. So they give you a receipt of your purchase and your tax free items. Make sure you get both of them and keep them till the airport. You won't need them anytime until the airport. That's it. You figured out how to use the tax free scheme in Japan. In summary, it has to be either in general goods or consumables. It has to be above 5,000 yen. You have to be on a foreign visitor, business, or tourism, doesn't matter, on a foreign visitor visa for less than 6 months. You need to present your actual physical passport and get two different receipts, one for your purchase and one for your tax free. Now, you may ask, what happens at the airport? Do they really check those things? Stay tuned. We were so stressed about this, right? We were not sure what happens if we have worn the shoes, if we have used this, if we haven't used that. We were actually really careful. The shops that gave us the consumables, like medicine, like cosmetics, they sealed it for us. So it was a sign. We knew that we're not allowed to use them inside Japan. We kept them sealed until the airport and we didn't really touch them. When you go to the airport, so this is what happened. We went to the airport, we were lost that, hey, who's going to check our tax-free items and what are we going to do? We had all the receipts ready, we had the passports ready, and we were ready for people to inspect our bags. There was no one there to look at our bags. So I would imagine this is more like a random based check because we entered the airport, we walked to the counter, we got the boarding pass, and we asked the lady, we said, what do we do with our tax-free items? They said, don't worry, just leave your bags here, let it go, and you can get on with your life. So I'm not really sure. We didn't see anybody checking any passengers' bags, but to be on the safe side, we had everything in order in our bags. The last part of this video, you might ask, so what happens if I get things tax-free and want to bring them into my country, and what happens with the tax? Let's keep them separate. So the Japanese government cares about their side and your country's government cares about their side. So when inside Japan, you are only concerned about the tax system inside Japan. You buy things tax free, you have stayed under 6 months on a visitor visa, you are all good. Just make sure you comply with all the requirements that are run you through. And now, entering your own country, for example, we were entering Australia coming back, there are some regulations from the Australian tax office. You have to comply them as an Australian, as an American, or any country that you're going back. Make sure you understand that the Japanese tax-free system has nothing to do with your country's tax system. You just go through your own country. So if you have gone into a jewelry shop and you have spent 50,000 US dollars on some pieces of jewelry tax-free, the Japanese part cares about their part. They don't care if you're taking it to Asia, to America, to Europe. They don't care about that. But now your country, whether it is in Europe, in America, wherever in the world, they care about you as a citizen bringing in 50,000 USD worth of jewelry. Then it's on you to get on the taxation office for your country's website or however they provide information and understand the implications of bringing expensive stuff to the country. For example, in Australia, as one passenger, you can only bring in up to 900 Australian dollar worth of stuff to the country. If you bring in more than that, you have to claim it against the country's taxation office, and they will decide if they're going to tax you or not. I've never had that. I don't know what they do, but that's the bare minimum. I would recommend understanding the Japanese side to your country side. They are irrelevant, disconnected. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos on Japan. We have recorded more than 2 terabytes of video, and that will be coming your way.